Hello, beautiful people. So here is a homework help video to help and support my students make some deeper connections that I've been trying to make this week. And I just really wanted to talk to you guys and talk through this problem for this, make a video to talk through this problem so that you guys feel supported on your homework tonight. So first of all, your homework is 17.2, the walkathon. And you're doing questions 1, 2, 3. On the back page, you're doing question 4. So that's your homework tonight. So let's actually just start off right here at the first one, and let's read the instructions. So it says 17.2, the walkathon. Diego, Elena, and Andre participated in a walkathon to raise money for cancer research. They each walked at a constant rate, but their rates were different. So I'm going to go ahead and say constant rate. That's a very important hint or clue as to how to solve this problem. The other one is their rates were different. So first part, constant rate means that Elena, Diego, and Andre were each walking at the same speed for each mile in which they were participating in this event. But their rates were different means that each individual was walking a different speed. So they gave you a wonky chart here, and this chart is actually very, very well organized, but I'm going to name, I have never given you a chart like this. The way you would have seen this chart would have been, in my class, we would have drawn it as 3 different charts. So first one is miles walked by Diego. So we would have had a chart that said Diego. And then we would have had his miles versus his hours. And then you would have seen the 4 boxes. So it would have been 1, 2, blank, 5, and it would have been 6 and 12. Then the next person, Elena, would have also had her own chart. And you would have seen miles and hours. And then for Elena's chart, the only thing that's filled in is the hours. Oops, I reversed these. This is hours. And this is miles. Sorry, excuse me on that. And this one is hours and miles. So this first time, hours applies to all 3 of the charts. So you would have seen 1, 2, a blank, and then 5, just like right here. And then instead on the 3rd line, you would have saw that Elena had 11. Next up, we would have Andre. And then again, for Andre, we would have his hours and his miles. I got it right that time. And he only has a bottom box of 17.5 miles, and it took him 5 hours. So this is 1 and 2. So hopefully, if that format is hard for you to look at, you can transition to this format. The key knowledge that you really need if you ever see a chart like this is you need to understand that each person is sharing the same ratio relationship with the time or the hours. Or the relationship's different, but this part of the chart is the same for each of their individual purposes of their side of the chart. So I'm just gonna look down here, and I can see that there's some places that are easier to fill out than others. So thinking about what we talked about, proportional relationships, we're really looking at the relationship from one side of the chart to the other side of the chart. So from one side of the chart to the other side of the chart. So I'm gonna start here with Diego because his actually looks the simplest to me. I can see that in 2 hours, Diego walked 6 miles. So if he's walking at a constant rate or a constant speed, that makes it really easy for me to see what speed he's walking at in 1 hour. So for example, if I divide 6 by 2, I'm gonna get the number 3. So I know that his constant speed is 3. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. So if I multiply his 1 hour times 3, I'm gonna get 3 miles. So he's walking 3 miles per hour. And then that also helps me solve this because I know if he's walking at a constant speed that is 3 miles per hour. 12 divided by 3 is going to tell me he was walking for 4 hours here. Key thing that to take from this is that this part of the chart is the same for all 3 of their charts. That's why there's only one of them here. So we know that this is a 4 now because of Diego's the speed he was able to walk in, or he was able to walk 12 miles in 4 hours, and because 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So with that said and done, we can now fill in each of these and find that that same 4-hour mark is going to go in those parts of the chart for Elena and Andre. So the next part is you can use the same knowledge we did here of dividing and multiplying the relationship between the left and the right side of the chart to help you complete these charts. Like, for example, if you divide 17 and 5/10 by 5, that's going to tell you, because this divided by 5 is 1, that's going to tell you how many miles Andre can walk in 1 hour. So that's for how to fill out this first chart. I hope that's helpful. I showed you one way of doing this with a ratio chart, which is the option that's given to you. You can use division. You can use a double number line. You can use any of those strategies that we talked about in class to help you and support you get through this process for proportional reasoning. The same thinking is going to be required for each of these. So my hint to you all is to read the questions very carefully, think through what it is saying, and then tomorrow I want everyone to come to class with the question if they feel stuck at any particular point. So if you get stuck here, I want you to craft a question trying to understand this question. So don't write, how do you do this, right? Think about what information you know, and you might ask a question that's specific to this question. So he says, how fast was each participant walking in miles per hour? Well, actually, everyone should be able to answer that, because in 1 hour, you're going to fill out this first chart, and it's going to tell you what that number is for 1 hour. But for this one, how long did it take each participant to walk in 1 mile? How is 1 mile different from 1 hour? So that's something for you all to think about. All right, good luck.